Okay, we're gonna do our read aloud, our first one. Or, well, maybe you're watching it second, I don't know. But here's one of our read alouds. It says, I Know Numbers. And it's by Taro Gomi. That's an unusual name, so I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And then I noticed that a lot of these people have numbers on them, whether they have it on their shirt or their headband or something they're holding or their hats, but they all have numbers. So I wonder what we're going to find out about numbers. This is a fiction book, but not a fiction book, because I don't know what the category is. I'm going to have to look that up, but it's pretend, but it's about real things. So, okay. Numbers are everywhere. These numbers show the time. So on the clock we have all the numbers, 1 through 12, and it shows the time. These numbers are on the calendar. They show the month and days. So then over here, it shows a calendar. And I'm noticing a different kind of clock here from this one. This is a clock like you have on your TV or your cable box. This is the clock like we have at school. But if you notice, remember we were talking about March and February in school and we were putting the numbers up every day. Well, this is a calendar and it has 4. So I'm thinking that's probably for April, which we start April tomorrow. And it has 30 days in April. See, look at that. All the way to 30. I wonder if you can count to 30. These numbers show the temperature. So here's the thermometer, and it's showing, it has numbers on it to show you how hot or cold it is. And on this one, it's just right. It's in the 60s. And then it's showing another thermometer, the kind that we used to take our temperature. Now this one looks like the one that I had when I was a kid. Now we have a little bit different kind they're called digital. It is your temperature, high or low, or just right. If you're not running a fever, then it's low, I guess, or just right. This number shows your weight. And then she's on a scale and it's saying how much she weighs. See the numbers there? 1, 4, 2. Or maybe it's 5. It's 5. 1, 4, 5. Wonder what other numbers we'll see in this book. These numbers are used to call someone. And then there's a phone like we have in our classroom. These phones were more common when Miss Marlene was little. Now we have cell phones, and they don't look like that. But you know that there are numbers on your cell phones. A lot of you know your mom's passwords. These numbers are for choosing a TV channel. Now, when I was a little girl, the numbers for the TV were right on the TV. But nowadays, the other book fell. We have numbers on a remote. Let's see what other numbers there might be. Prices are numbers too. Prices are how much things cost. So I see it saying carrots are 99, and I don't know what those are, but they're $1.10, and these are 80. And then these little things right here are $1.25. So they have prices on all the food, and sometimes you'll see that if you go to the grocery store with your mom or dad or your grandma or grandpa. I'll buy this one, please. So what's he buying there? Looks like he's buying a big, juicy watermelon. And I noticed the watermelon costs $3. $3. Watermelon sounds good. Miss Marlene's starting to get ready for lunch. I'm getting hungry. This number is the size. So he's getting shoes and he wears size 12, or she wears size 12. I wear size 8. I wonder what size you wear. Sometimes you can still see them in your shoe if you haven't worn them a lot. Will it fit? I wonder if it's going to fit. Oh, see, there's the size on the clothing. A lot of you probably wear 4 or 5. Some of you might wear a little bit bigger, like 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not going to talk about what Miss Marlene wears. There are numbers on license plates. License plates are what we have on the backs of our cars. And everybody's license plate has different numbers so that they know it belongs to you. So this one has 2604, and this one has I can't read that backwards. 56573. It looks like it's kind of hard to read. And numbers show where buses go. So this number 5 bus tells you where this bus will be going. If you look here, they have a list of places it goes, and then these are the numbers. So if you want to go to school, it might be a number 3, or if you want to go to the grocery store, it might be a number 5. So you know what bus you need to take. Have you ever ridden on a bus? I have. I prefer my car, but I've ridden on a bus. I know you've ridden on the bus for school when we went on our field trip, but I was more wondering if you've ridden on a city bus. I've ridden on a city bus. Numbers help us understand the rules of the road. So here's a sign with a number, and that's the speed limit, and you're allowed to go 80. That's a pretty good speed limit. And then this tells you how far to where you're going, 24 miles. I'm not sure what the 120 means, but maybe it's kilometers, because there are different measurements that go with numbers when you're driving. And numbers also show the distance. So I had already talked about that with you. This shows how far the distance, how far something is, the distance. It's 24 miles. Like for me to drive to school, I think it's 6 miles from my house to school. I wonder how far it is for you to drive, what the distance is. Numbers are on buildings, so Miss Marlene's having trouble holding the book today because it's a hardcover. Mail carriers can deliver mail. Numbers are on buildings, so mail carriers can deliver mail. So everybody's house or apartment has a number. This is 3600. My address is 5864. What is your address? That was one of your things you were supposed to learn, is your address for your house. Mine is 5864. And then if you notice, this has a different number. So everybody has a different number on their house. This is 3615. Because it was the same number, then the mail carrier wouldn't know where to put stuff. Numbers help us know who wins. I know you guys like to play winning games. Who can build it the fastest, who gets the most numbers. You guys are playing that with the bean bags, who got the most, and you're playing that with the dice. And who could build the fastest tower. And you guys like to use the timer, and we use the timer to decide if we're gonna beat the timer for cleanup, if we win or the timer does. Sometimes numbers replace names. So if you play a sport, like I know Antoine's brother Delon plays basketball, I bet he has a number on his jersey. A jersey is another name for a shirt that people wear when they're playing soccer or basketball or hockey or baseball or football. I know Kaysen likes football. So it's easier to see who the player is if they have a number on their back, as opposed to like squinting and trying to figure out who's in the field. The numbers are easier. numbers help you find your seat. So if you went to a sports game and you bought a ticket, there are numbers on the seats to tell you where you're supposed to sit. If you go to a monster truck, there are numbers on those seats. If you go to a concert, or sometimes if you go to a theater, although they don't do that so much anymore. At the movies, there are numbers. There are numbers. So if you go to the movies, there's numbers on the seats too. Next time you go to a movie, ask mom or dad to let you see the ticket and you can compare the number. And then it says, and numbers tell us the score. So you guys were doing that a little bit with tally marks when you were doing dice. It wasn't quite the score, but it was a little bit like a score. We use numbers to play games. We didn't get to pull out some of our games. I was planning on playing games with you this year that involved counting. We just didn't start them yet. So if you notice this board, it has a start. And does it have a finish? I think 40 is the finish. It doesn't say finish, but that's where you got to get to. That's the highest number. And it has all the numbers in between. See all those numbers? And I also see that they're using die. I see it right here, and it has dots to stand for numbers. Let's see. I think this book is almost finished. And numbers tells us who goes first. So all these people have numbers, and they let you know which one goes next. And if you notice, this book has numbers on the pages. This is page 28. And this is page 29. It's really hard to see because it's small in the corner. So we're learning a lot about numbers today. We use numbers to do math. Did you know you were doing math when you were counting? And numbers are useful. They are very useful. Numbers are used to count things. Remember, sometimes people will think that numbers and letters are the same, but numbers are for counting things and letters are for spelling things. And the math that these kids are doing, you won't do till you get bigger. And you probably won't use a chalkboard. You'll probably use the smart board or a whiteboard. Chalkboards are old-fashioned, like when Miss Marlene went to school. And the last thing says, numbers are on pages 2. And it's showing you the last page, and its number is 32. And he's holding up 4 and a 6. That's how old Miss Marlene is, 46. 46. 46. I don't know why he's holding up those numbers, though. And then there's some numbers on the pages, on the back page. So it goes from 1 to 100, like that chart I sent home with you. Did you like this book? Is it 2 thumbs up, thumbs down, in the middle? What did you think about that book? I liked it. I liked that I got to learn about a whole bunch of numbers. But I kind of felt like it was a little bit boring. But it was still a good book. So I think I'm like a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.